Pep Talk UK, Pro Beez at the Ultimate Boxer press conference. We've just witnessed a fabulous draw, and we're at the BT Tower, and I'm delighted to be joined by the former two-time world champion, welterweight, 140, 147, right?
Yeah, you make it sound so good. Keep going.
I'm putting respect to your name right now. Putting respect to your name. Now, it's great to see you. I've witnessed this event grow from the beginning. I remember the first email that I got. I didn't know much about the Ultimate Boxer. Now I know all about it. The last show in the O2 was absolutely jam-packed, and I'm looking forward to December the 13th out in Manchester.
Yeah, absolutely. So am I. You know, we've yet to put on a bad Ultimate Boxer show. So I think our event is, the image is taken is that it's battle tested now. You know, it's proven that it's entertain, and it's proven to give fighters the right kind of opportunities to better their careers as well. So you got it's a two-edged sword from both sides, as far as you're sharp on one side with the entertainment, and you're sharp on the other side as far as getting the fighters what they want too. So I think heavyweight edition is only more exciting because now you got the big guys, the big boys letting the big shots fly. And in a 3-round format, which is what makes Ultimate Boxer more exciting because it forces guys to fight, you eliminate the risk of these big guys languishing on each other like they do sometimes in these 10-round fights and falling and laying on each other. Now you have no time for that. 3 rounds, you got to let it go.
Tell the viewers, the Pep Talk viewers, about the effects, you know, some of the successes from this whole format of this competition, what they've gone on to do, and how it can change lives.
Yeah, you know, it can change lives because you're unknown, and then all of a sudden it gives you a little bit of notoriety. And in boxing, that's important because notoriety gives you options to decide who to sign with or how to go, what direction to take your career with, as opposed to not having options where you just have to take whatever fights come your way, whether you like them or not. So I think having options puts the ball in your court for a lot of it, and I think the opportunities Ultimate Boxer gives you by winning the tournament and the notoriety gives you those options.
Steve Bunce, he said Jonathan Pilata is his favorite. Who's your favorite?
I don't give names. I don't give my names because I think all of these guys in each and every one of these tournaments is unknown, and I think they should stay unknown, and I think their notoriety should come from the performance on fight night. If you start to make them known just before they even fight, what was the point of them being unknown before the tournament started, you know? The whole point of it is that these guys are unknown, and they're here to fight for their opportunity. So I'm not going to make any of them more known than the rest just because, you know, they may see something in them. In my mind, yeah, I have 1 or 2 guys I'm watching. But on fight night, you know, I want the results to speak for themselves and the way they fight to speak for themselves.
Your old foe, Conor McGregor, has been announced to come back in the ring next year. I mean, what do you make of this whole comeback? Why is he not fighting you?
Well, he's not going to fight me, of course. You know, I think boxers smack him around left, right, and center. I mean, that's what we've always done, you know. He's got this fight at MMA. Hopefully he's going to get a win so he can, you know, erase all these memories of him getting abused. Because I feel like he's an abused child lately, you know? Like, every time you just beat up on him, he gets bitter. He's like a bitter person now. He's hitting old men, and he's breaking people's cell phones and stuff like that. But then when you put yourself in his shoes, if somebody beat the shit out of you every single time you got into a fight, like, you feel like an abused child. And usually what happens to abused children, you know, they're very bitter people. They're you know, not by their own fault. So, you know, people want to get mad at Conor McGregor, but I don't really get mad at him. You know, I kind of try to take an understanding side of him, you know? And I was like, this guy, all he's been getting to do is he's just getting beat up left and right, smacked around, beat up on, choked out, punched around. Like, you know, what are you going to do? Can you really blame him for being bitter, you know? I'll put it like this. If you remember, people forget, like, a couple of years ago when I got called for the sparring, remember there was a rumor that Jesse Vargas had knocked him out in the gym when he was training for McGregor, when he was training for Mayweather? I don't know if you remember that. Like, before I got called into camp, there was that rumor going around that Jesse Vargas had knocked him out in the gym. And everybody made like it didn't happen, and I wasn't sure if it happened. And when I got to the camp, you know, I didn't really think about it, you know, but they were like, you know, there was like the whispers about like with Jesse Vargas, was it true, was it not true, you know, and all that stuff. But I came to a training camp where there was no boxers. There was just MMA guys and a couple of amateurs, you know. So, you know, now that I look back at it, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was the reason why they brought an older, out-of-shape ex-champion in me. Because the current champion at that time had just knocked the shit out of him in the gym. You know what I mean? So they got rid of him and brought in the older guy and said, you know what, let's try to switch this rumor around and make it a positive rumor. And what they did was they took a couple of highlights and they made it into a positive rumor, and boom, they sold a great show. But really, you know, like, Jesse Vargas knocked him out in the gym. You know, I smacked him around for the whole camp, for the whole sparring, if you really get to watch it. Mayweather stopped him. You know, Khabib beat him up. You know, it's bad. It's bad. I think he needs therapy more than he needs fights. You know, I think he needs like a psychologist therapy. But, you know, we'll see. Maybe winning maybe if he can win a fight, it'll be like a positive psychology for him. Maybe it'll turn him into a better person if he wins the fight, because he's really too bitter right now, you know. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. If I got smacked around for 4 years straight, I'd be pretty bitter too.
Just to conclude, you mentioned Khabib. There's rumors out there on the internet. Obviously, Floyd Mayweather's coming back to the ring, potentially 2020. Him against Khabib, do you know anything about that, or is he going to fight somebody else, Mayweather?
You know, that's the rumor. You know, I think with him signing with Dana White, I think it's possibly a deal where he's going to box only UFC guys. You know, I think people that think Mayweather's going to come back to box top-level boxers are pretty stupid to think. You'd have to be pretty stupid to think that. You guy's 42, almost 43. He's done from the mainstream of boxing. But this is sort of a niche area where he can kind of fill that void fill that void for the spotlight again, you know, which never really leaves us as fighters. He can fill that void for the spotlight, and he can still make a ton of money. And he can kind of sell himself more to a whole new audience and fan base who is dumb enough to still think he's the best fighter in the world, boxer in the world. He hasn't been the best boxer in the world in 7, 8 years since he was in his prime, but he can sell himself to a fan base that is dumb enough to think he's still the best boxer in the world, and their guys in the UFC are fighting the best boxer in the world, in boxing rules nonetheless. So it's a calculated risk because he's probably not going to lose to none of these guys. You sell yourself like crazy because you're selling yourself the stupidest fan base on planet Earth. And of course, you know, it's a situation where you're marketing yourself in a positive way because you're only going to win. So I think, you know, the UFC guys are going to also get to make some cash too, and that's good for them, you know, the fighters. So I think everybody wins in the end, you know, everybody wins in the end. The MMA fans never realize they're that stupid because, let's see, when you're really, really stupid, you never know, you don't think you're stupid. So the MMA fans really never realize how dumb they are. And Mayweather makes money, the UFC fighters make money, Dana White gets to make money, and everybody's happy, right?
Days. I'd like to thank Paulie Malignaggi for his time. Pep Talk UK, like, share, comment, subscribe. Paulie Malignaggi.
Yes, sir. The one and only.